Hey, folks, here's a video, surprising video. Gotta do a video. They're saying that Tucker Carlson was, they're saying that it was he's doing propaganda for Putin. Oh my God. Cenk and TYT, they still hate that Tucker Carlson did the interview with Putin. And, yeah, it wasn't a tease, it was a softball. And he's doing propaganda for Putin. I saw most of the interview, or some clips of a lot of clips of it, and he did certain. There was a little bit pushback, but where there's a lot of good information, I say he's doing propaganda. It was a long interview. He didn't interrupt him, but he explained his position and actual fact. He wasn't doing like he wasn't making up. They say it's propaganda, like he's making up. Putin's making up stories. He's telling you the truth, what happened. But in actual fact, he could back it up. I mean, there's a lot of other medias. Other media could back it up. These guys are just fronting for the Democrats and Biden. The TYT and some other left media. They're fighting for the empire. So-called left. Garbage. Anyways, but Tucker Carlson, he wasn't that bad. I think some of the questions are stupid. I mean, and it's all is anti-China rhetoric. So that became dumb. I mean, you think Russia's going to be against China? He wants Russia to be against China. I mean, that's what we and some other stupid stuff. But it wasn't that bad. It was kind of dumb. The interview wasn't like he wasn't doing propaganda. It was stupid. But the questions you didn't ask more like real good questions. Like go into it more. He asked him why he invaded Ukraine and blah blah blah. But some other things he could have asked him. And I mean, it was kind of a dumb interview in a way. But it's not like it's not a propaganda. He's not. I mean, come on. The way you have to be fair though. I don't think they're being fair. You're gonna see what these guys say.
Independent, so we're not serving corporations, we're serving you guys. So hit that join button below. We love you guys. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Tucker Carlson getting trolled by Vladimir Putin. Earlier this month, Tucker Carlson caused quite an uproar after he announced that he'd be interviewing Vladimir Putin. Well, that interview happened, and now we're hearing that Vladimir Putin himself felt that the interview was just full of softballs, and he was disappointed by that. Apparently, he was preparing for a sharp Tucker Carlson to ask pointed, difficult questions, and that just did not.
Oh my God. Putin's kind of trolling the media, probably. That's what he's doing. You really think he wants soft, tough questions? He doesn't really want. He just troll. I think he's trolling. He knows that he's gonna get a reaction from the Western media, so that's why he's doing that. I think he's trolling you guys, Mr. Putin. Oh, he's trolling you. He's trolling the so-called Western media with that reaction.
Come to fruition. So here's a little reminder of what the very beginning of the interview looked like, which I think is a good representation of the rest of the conversation.
On February 22nd, 2022, you addressed your country in a nationwide address when the conflict in Ukraine started. And you said that you were acting because you had come to the conclusion that the United States, through NATO, might initiate a, quote, surprise attack on our country. And to American ears, that sounds paranoid. Tell us why you believe the United States might strike Russia out of the blue. How did you conclude that?
Дело не в том, что Америка
It's not that America, the United States, was going to launch a surprise strike on Russia. I didn't say that. Are we having a talk show or a serious conversation?
Here's the quote. Thank you. It's a formidable series.
Так вот, да, это серьезный разговор. Но поскольку у вас базовое образование...
Because your basic education is in history, as far as I understand.
Yes.
Now, in the very beginning of that interview, I mean, Putin.
See, Tucker's not really a journalist. So anyway, so I don't know why these people they get upset with that. The so-called the Western media. I mean, this guy is obvious. He's making fun of Tucker, but yeah, they're making yeah, they're making fun of Tucker. But yeah, this guy's not really a journalist. I mean, so it's obvious but that doesn't mean he shouldn't do an interview with him. But there was information that he did on the stuff that he said about the peace agreements and the Nazis in Ukraine. That was information there that people need to be heard, actually. And but you're gonna clown Tucker Carlson, saying that he shouldn't do the interview. But he should do it. But he's not a real journalist. Everybody knows that. So what if he clowns? Putin's gonna do is he's gonna clown him. Maybe Putin did thought he'd be more tough. Who knows? But then again, you're gonna explain it's probably not. I might agree with them there.
Putin had a nearly hour-long monologue without interruption from Tucker Carlson. And, usually that doesn't happen in an interview, but it happened in this case.
Hour long. Just like you guys did with Vivek Swamy. Never interviewed, just let this guy talk for whatever. Vivek Swamy. And only time you interviewed him, only time you pressed back against him when he was advocating for Trump. You push back on him. But everything he says, that was quite a couple months ago, but when he was running, everything Vivek said, most things he didn't push back at all. Just let him talk. And most of your interviews with right-wingers, they don't push back. Certain people they push back. So they criticize Tucker Carlson. I'm not a Tucker Carlson fan, but they don't push back either, some people. Marianne Williamson puffball questions. Didn't push back against her.
Now, later, Russian President Vladimir Putin stomped all over Tucker Carlson and gave him a pretty scathing review for his interviewing techniques. Putin told Russian interviewer Pavel Zarubin, "I honestly thought he would be aggressive and ask so-called sharp questions. And I wasn't just ready for that, I wanted it because it would have given me the opportunity to respond sharply and kind. But he chose a different tactic. But guys, I mean, listen, the trolling Tucker Carlson stuff is fun, and I do think that Tucker was easy on him, with one exception, which we'll remind you about with a clip in just a moment. But before we get to that, you think Vladimir Putin didn't know that Tucker Carlson would be far friendlier to him than someone else in the media? He knew. He knew. Of course he knew. He's like, oh, I was ready for the tough questions. It's just that they were never asked. Now, he also said this. He, meaning Tucker Carlson, tried to interrupt me several times, but still, surprisingly, for a Western journalist, he turned out to be patient and listened to my lengthy dialogues, especially those related to history, and didn't give me reason to do what I was ready for, meaning ready for the hard questions. So, Cenk, well, how do you see this? Like, I see that.
I think that was good. He let him talk. He didn't explain the history, because Tucker Carlson, he doesn't know the history. And he's right. In the other clip, he's not a he's not a student of history, Tucker Carlson. So Putin was right. So, yeah, he let him explain what the history of the situation. I mean, he could always, I don't know if he could fact check him. Well, he can't do, I guess. But you're not going to fact check. I guess later on he could fact check. I don't know if he did that on X, if he did a follow-up to what he said and counteract Putin. But
this is like a tactic, a little strategy by Putin.
Yeah, I'm kind of amazed by it because I'm not in this mindset. And so when I see them do it, I'm always a little shocked by it. So guys who are natural born bullies like Trump and Putin, when someone is good to them, nice to them, gives them something that they want, like a decent person goes, oh, thank you, I appreciate it, or shows some sort of kind of appreciation. But for the bullies, they go, oh, good, that means you're weak, I'm strong. And they make more fun of them. And so, like, Tucker Carlson comes to him and goes, I will do your propaganda for you, sir. And then afterwards...
propaganda, he wasn't... I saw the interview, it wasn't no propaganda. Come on. It wasn't that bad, folks. I saw clips of it. And, yeah, it wasn't that... I saw the most important stuff. Why he didn't talk about the invasion. Why he invaded and the peace agreements. That was most important. There was no propaganda there. You know what I mean? Most of it's fact. And that part, but I don't think he did. He didn't get the propaganda. He tried to do his own propaganda. Tucker Carlson with China. But that wasn't that bad. It was kind of dumb because he could have asked better questions. Some questions are silly, he asked, but he could have done to go into more detail. But it wasn't bad as people thought it was. And they're making it now, they're saying that it's bad. It's still, it's propaganda. Oh, he's a Trump shit, Putin shill. But I don't think it wasn't that bad as people thought it was.
Putin goes, ha, look at this. I used him like a weak person that he is. Go ahead, little man. Okay, you didn't even challenge me. Ha, ha, ha. Well, you did you a giant favor, right?
Well, it's actually a little different because remember, Vladimir Putin's the guy who did the photo shoot shirtless on a horse. Like he wants to be viewed as a strong man. And so it doesn't really bode well for you when you engage in an interview that isn't challenging, right? It makes it look like you specifically decided to seek out someone who would be friendly to you and give you a softball interview.
No, but he does that with Russian TV all the time.
Exactly.
All those people are like, oh, Mr. Freeman, no, you are the greatest. Please tell us how you score all the goals in hockey and beat all the men with your bare hands.
Exactly. I think Tucker came to him actually. So yeah, but exactly. He's a Russian TV is more propaganda, anyways. All propaganda, state television, and RT is propaganda. Although they have some stuff or not, but most of the stuff is propaganda. I mean,
Okay,
That's
so
true. That's true. But
Yeah.
you would expect a tougher conversation from U.S.-based
in
journalists.
other words, what you're saying is, and you might be right about this, is that he wanted a more sophisticated form of
I
propaganda.
guess depends who it is. I guess propaganda. He's still saying it's propaganda. Oh my God, it wasn't that bad. I don't think it was propaganda per se. It wasn't really.
Yes.
Where there was a tiny bit of a fake fight.
Yes, yes. But I mean, he's pretending like he wanted a tough interview. He didn't want a tough interview.
No.
If he wanted a tough interview,
Yeah, but hey, Vlad, come here. I'll give you a tough interview. You
Yeah,
want a tough
seriously.
interview? Yeah.
Oh, you're a joke, really. You know, you're a tough interview. You would, yeah, depends who you would cut you guys up. A tough interview. Oh my God. You'd be scared of him. You're full of it, buddy. You're full of it. So you interview the people that you don't, the people that you don't like. I know that. But he doesn't respect. He does a tough interview. Like people will not, like Orlean, this black lawyer. She's in New York. She works for the in Olay. She works for the New York. I think she's a thing. What do you call public defender? And she's interviewing him. She interviewed him on prison reform or prison abolishment. He interviewed her, and she was really on tough on her. Like, I don't know, he was terrible, not tough. He didn't allow her to speak, talk over her. He meant both of them, Anna and Cenk, and he's terrible. They never like, as a black woman, so they're tough on her. I mean, people that they like, that they're tough on. And on that his interview with Brianna, even the Brianna, when Brianna roasted him, and even he won't allow her to talk. And even what's his name? I know it's William Martin. I mean, like he couldn't survive that. He didn't survive that, but Roland interviewed him. But yeah, he's tough. He won't be tough on. He's only tough on people who he likes. I know that. On right wingers, he's like, I don't think he's tough at all. He's softball when he interviews the right wingers. But when he interviews leftists, he's like he doesn't allow them to speak. So he's terrible. They both are terrible. I mean, so-called leftists. I mean, the right wingers, the MAGAs you hate. That's you should be tough on too. We should be tough on everybody, but especially the MAGAs when you interview them. Let's go on, folks.
Open invitation.
Anytime you like, brother.
If you want the sharp questions, Putin, you'll get them here.
Yeah. And by the
It's
way,
nonsense.
so like the Hillary Clintons of the world will be like, no, don't interview Vladimir Putin. That helps Russia. No. We got this. Come on. See if you could, get your points across. Well, look, you said you wanted to test how good you are.
No, actually, she would love it. You guys interview him. She would actually love it. I think Clinton would love it actually. But then it'll make fools of you. Maybe because you guys Putin might make fools of you guys. Make you guys look like fools, maybe. That's what I think.
Interviews. You're welcome at Young Turks.
Like, you're just saying that now.
Right.
Because we do real interviews.
Oh, really? Oh,
I
my
get-
God. You don't do real interviews. Do terrible interviews. Sometimes you do real interviews, but no, against who? Against the right wingers or if it's against leftists, you do okay interviews sometimes. Against right wingers, it's terrible. Imagine a guy like Putin's, the oligarch. I mean, he probably do terrible against right wingers. Terrible.
Guess you would come to regret it.
And by the way, I think anyone is up for grabs when it comes to an interview, right? Like, I didn't have a problem with Tucker Carlson announcing that he was going to interview Vladimir Putin. There's nothing wrong with him interviewing Putin. How he conducts the interview is
sure. I gotta look back at the clip because I thought maybe you guys are against it. You guys saying that, I think you guys are against it. I said look back at it. Before they were saying that. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know unless not a lot of the media was against it. I think you guys are against it. I don't know.
the question lies, right?
100%.
If you're going to do a propaganda, softball interview with someone to prop him up, well, then it's a problem. But if you challenge him and you ask important, interesting questions, that's entirely different. You're doing your job as a member of the media.
Really? You guys are going to challenge Putin? You probably ask dumb questions. I mean, you probably do like more like politics kind of. Probably like involve Trump. Oh, you probably ask him about Trump. Don't ask question. I mean, and this and that. Or you might go into Russiagate. That's what they probably do. We know that Putin. He's gonna deny it. It'll be a dumb question. But he did try help Trump to win, actually. But it wasn't a big deal as we thought. But maybe we did probably go into that more, Russiagate. And who knows these guys? It'll be nonsense. It'll be like wouldn't matter now.
Now, with that said, there was one moment in this conversation that I thought did bode well for Tucker Carlson. He did ask Putin a question that I don't think Putin liked, but I'll let you judge for yourselves. So he specifically mentioned a U.S. journalist who has been imprisoned in Russia. Let's take a look at how Tucker handled that portion of the conversation.
I'm just going to ask you one last question, and that's about Evan Gershkovich, who's the Wall Street Journal reporter. He's 32, and he's been in prison for almost a year. And I just want to ask you directly if, as a sign of your decency, you would be willing to release him to us and we'll bring him back to the United States.
We have done so many gestures of goodwill out of decency that I think we have run out of them. We have never seen anyone reciprocate to us in a similar manner. However, in theory, we can say that we do not rule out that we can do that if our partners take reciprocal steps.
What makes this different is the guy's obviously not a spy. He's a kid, and maybe he was breaking your law in some way, but he's not a super spy, and everybody knows that, and he's being held hostage in exchange, which is true.
I don't know. Some are saying that there's more than that what they're saying, folks. Because he now they mentioned it on RBN. Like, I don't know, there's something more than meets the eye.
With respect, it's true, and everyone knows it's true. So maybe he's in a different category. Maybe it's not fair to ask for, somebody else in exchange for letting him out. Maybe it degrades Russia to do that.
He was receiving classified, confidential information, and he did it covertly.
Yeah.
He committed something different. He's not just a journalist. I reiterate, he's a journalist who was secretly getting confidential information. I do not rule out that the person you refer to, Mr. Gershkovich, may return to his motherland. By the end of the day, it does not make any sense to keep him in prison in Russia.
Interesting.
So there you see Tucker pushing back quite a bit. You know, there were follow-up questions, so he does deserve credit for that portion of the interview. But Cenk, he was receiving secret information, classified information, which journalists tend to do.
Yeah.
That's usually what journalists do. They
Yeah,
get
that's the
leaks
thing.
or they get classified information and they report on it.
That's the thing, yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. It's as information, maybe information on Putin. So maybe, yeah. But yeah, but if but China would do the same thing, I guess. If somebody had information. See, these guys, well, the thing is they gotta learn. They know that they're taking a risk. They're taking a risk going into Russia. I mean, I don't know if he's classified information. I mean, like these are journalists. Somebody gave him the information, and it's it's a big risk. And yeah. But Putin is they're not too. Putin is not too kind to a journalist. I might say though. So even some are killed probably. Killed Russian journalists who go against him. So and his political opponents, he has them killed. So I know he's not a good guy. But it's not as the whole thing is not as bad as you think it is. I mean, the interview.
Anna, нет. He was not just a journalist. He was a good journalist, which we do not tolerate.
Totally, yes.
You're lucky we did not push Cenk on top of his head. Okay.
Push off balcony.
Or maybe he falls off balcony one day if you keep talking. Okay. Okay, by the way, as I was watching that for the second time now, and we're being way too fair to Tucker, that was a tiny part of the interview.
It was
for 2 hours, he filleted him, and then at the end, one decent question, right? So, it would have been hilarious if Putin was like, this girly man has come here to interview me. I am amused by his weakness. Arrest him.
Oh my God. No, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. My God. You said you were against the interview. You're for if you put. I don't know. I doubt that. Most of the media was against that. Him doing the interview. Like before he got there. So I doubt she's saying that she's for it. He was for him doing the interview. But because the way he did it, I doubt that.
Now you have to give me another spy for your stupid ass Tucker Carlson. Okay.
I really wonder what MAGA world would do.
Cenk
How they would react to that.
I don't know.
Imagine him and Cenk Uygur. Who's this big Cenk Uygur guy? Hey. This Cenk Uygur the one interview me. Who this Cenk Uygur? This is an American leftist. Oh, he's a propagandist. I mean, progressive leftist. Who this guy? He might arrest you, maybe, Cenk. Oh yeah, he probably who is this this a big guy. He's a idiot. He's a fool. He's a president. He's gonna be he's running for the president of the United States. Oh, he's okay. This guy is a buffoon. He's I don't know, a buffoon in Russia. He probably the buffoon. He would get out of my face. He probably say, "Niet God, kick him out of the country." Oh my God.
Let's find out. No, I'm kidding. Don't. I hate that girl's.
I'm gonna.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Anyway, all right. Let's move on to the next story.
I'm gonna end this,
Recording.
folks.
Actually, no-
That's it for this. Oh my God. Come on, he wasn't that bad, people. Tucker wasn't that bad. I guess he just hate Tucker Carlson just to he cut Tucker Carlson. I know Tucker Carlson's terrible, but hey, some cases he does good work, believe it or not. But you guys can do better. Come on, you guys a joke. You can't do interview with my ass. I'm out, folks. This is just a quick video. I'm done, folks. Till the next one.